Every rule of genetics says this snake population should have collapsed decades ago. It didn't. Instead, it exploded into one of the most destructive biological invasions on the planet. I always assumed inbreeding was an evolutionary dead end, a biological trap where a population slowly weakens itself out of existence. But a new genetic study has upended that assumption, finally explaining how these snakes pulled off the seemingly impossible. Sometime after World War II, a small number of brown tree snakes, likely just a handful, hitched a ride to Guam, almost certainly hidden away in military cargo. Guam had no native snake predators. Its ecosystem had never needed to evolve defenses against a threat like this. As a result, the snakes triggered a severe ecological collapse, methodically wiping out native forest birds, starting with ground-dwelling species like the flightless Guam rail seen here. Populations of diverse birds, including the Micronesian kingfisher, were eradicated from the wild. Today, researchers estimate the snakes are so densely packed in some areas that there are as many as 30,000 of them in a single square mile. They climb onto electrical lines by the thousands, damaging the island's power grid and triggering actual blackouts. The scale of this ecological and infrastructural takeover, launched by only a handful of individuals, is what makes the invasion a biological paradox. When a population starts from just a few individuals, it goes through a genetic bottleneck. Those few founders reproduce, and their offspring breed with each other, creating a deeply inbred population. A shallow gene pool is supposed to be a massive liability. Less genetic variation means you have less ability to adapt to a new environment and fewer biological defenses to fight off disease. Over generations, closely related animals breeding inevitably leads to compounding health defects. By every standard rule, Guam's snake population should have struggled to survive. A team led by researchers at the University at Buffalo and the U.S. Geological Survey decided to look closely at why that collapse didn't happen. This diagram shows they found the answer using long-read DNA sequencing. Unlike older methods scanning single letter changes, long-read sequencing detects massive chunks of altered DNA. They found over 19,000 structural differences hidden in the snake's genome, entirely concentrated in immunity and smell. The immunity genes gave the snakes extra biological tools to fight off disease, helping them survive despite their severe inbreeding. But the smell genes explain something much stranger. In their native range across Australia and the South Pacific, brown tree snakes are highly cannibalistic. They eat other snakes. Yet in Guam, where overcrowding means snakes are constantly running into each other, researchers find almost no evidence of cannibalism. The researchers now think those concentrated olfactory genes give the snakes a heightened sense of smell, allowing them to recognize close relatives and avoid eating their own family. By genetically bypassing cannibalism and disease, these snakes effectively removed their own natural population checks, clearing the way for an explosive invasion. These genetic findings have implications for species across the entire natural world. If a population this heavily inbred can hide this much adaptive flexibility, standard genetic models might be missing crucial survival mechanisms. This explains exactly why certain highly destructive invasive species are nearly impossible to eradicate. They have unseen genetic workarounds keeping them alive. But it also offers a surprising upside. As this photo of a cheetah reminds us, endangered populations written off as doomed by their shallow gene pool might harbor much more hidden resilience than anyone realized. This hidden flexibility suggests that a species' survival potential may rely on more than just the traditional measurements of its gene pool. If this changed how you think about what a small, inbred population is actually capable of, let me know in the comments. We have new videos coming out every day, so make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.